This is the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick and Mike Dempsey will guide you through the next 2 hours with insight and analysis of your Jacksonville Jaguars. The Publix Tailgate Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, and by TIAA Bank. Let's get the tailgating started. Here are Mike Dempsey and JP Shadrick.
A new head coach, a new quarterback, a new defense, and our first glimpse at the new era of Jaguars football begins 3 hours from right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars kick off the 2021 preseason as they'll entertain the Cleveland Browns. Kickoff coming up at 7 o'clock, and tonight's game is presented by Gate, serving up more. Welcome into the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey at TIAA Bank Field. We were talking before the show. It's year number 7 for this program.
Yes, it is. It feels like day number 7, JP. It's flown by because working with you is a pleasure every single day, my friend. But in all seriousness, we are ready for 2021 like we've rarely been ready for a year of Jaguar football in the past. And, obviously new coaching staff, new front office, and a new guy expected to ascend to the helm at the quarterback position in Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 overall pick. What's not to be excited about?
How do you pick top stories today? There's so many to choose from in this offseason, and you just ticked a few off the list there.
Yeah, and I think Trevor Lawrence is the number 1 story, though. I mean, Urban Meyer is obviously a central figure in the football landscape, but we knew this was going to be an exciting offseason as soon as the Jags clinched the number 1 overall pick last year, and you knew it was going to be Trevor Lawrence. There was never any real debate. I mean, there may have been some manufactured draft nick debate leading into the NFL draft, but we here in Jacksonville knew that it was going to be Trevor Lawrence, and so far he has seemed to be everything as advertised, right? He's brought that physical skill set we saw on display at Clemson University for the last 3 years, and he's brought just an attitude and a perspective that I think bodes well for a guy who's a future franchise quarterback.
Game day weather is presented by roofclaim.com. Protection made simple. Well, it's raining right now, 81 degrees, and the rain should hopefully fade away over the next couple hours. 30% chance at 7 o'clock at kickoff time. 81 degrees in Jacksonville. Let's get to today's top stories and start off with Urban Meyer making his debut on the sidelines tonight. It's been an offseason of building the culture of excellence and winning, owning the logo. A +2 mentality, Mike. I know you like that. 4 to 6, A to B. That's all instilled on a daily basis around here. But now it's time for football. The result tonight is not as important, obviously. So what are Urban Meyer's expectations for this game?
And the expectation is I want a clean game. We spent an inordinate amount of time on fundamentals of the game. And I expect a winner mentality that every play, the reality is that there's people across from you trying to take your job. You're trying to, some of these guys are in survival mode, and I respect that. And so how do we, we're going to back off a lot of the 2s and 3s. They're going to play a majority of the game, 40-plus plays, just to get their legs back because a lot of guys are blown out right now. So a clean game, taking care of the football, hustling on and off the field, and then competitors. Every play is going to be graded. And you either win the rep or you lose the rep. And I'm hoping you see a real competitive group.
Urban Meyer earlier this week, and I have found at least in the offseason so far and in training camp, his press conferences have been fairly transparent. I mean, Urban is pretty honest about what he knows and doesn't know, and he's willing to lean on his NFL experienced coaches around him to help him out.
Right, and look, there's a certain segment out there that is not going to take to anything that Urban Meyer does, right? I'm talking about more the national media perspective. So they've looked to jump on certain areas where he's like saying, hey, look, there's going to be a learning process here. And look, this guy's not ready for the NFL or whatever the case may be. I thought, JP, you go back to the draft when he said, look, we would have taken Kadarius Toney. No NFL coach does that. And maybe he won't in the future either, but what's the harm in that? Like, hey, this is a guy we thought would be a good fit. Somebody else took him. Good for them. And that's why we have Travis Etienne here, because we think he can do a lot of the same things there. I will say this about the catchphrases. I'm not a big catchphrase guy.
But you're a +2 guy. You can always do 2 extra reps that are needed.
In all seriousness, we've gone through so many catchphrases over the years, right, that it's become absurd. But what I'm impressed with is how many of Urban Meyer's players repeat them back in the press conference setting because you're only getting throughout training camp an opportunity to speak to a couple of players a day, typically one on offense, one on defense, and they work in +2 like you wouldn't believe. They work in own it. They work in all these little catchphrases. So, I think all kidding aside, it's good that they're obviously buying into whatever it is that Urban Meyer is selling them.
Trevor Lawrence is buying in as well. He was the number 1 overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. He'll run out here tonight for the first time in teal. A long time coming, and Lawrence is ready to roll.
I'm pumped. First game, obviously. It's nice we're playing at home in front of the home crowd, so we're really excited. We've been working past 3-4 weeks, but really even since the spring, just trying to get ready for these moments. And this will be good. A lot of people are going to play, but this is in our minds, it's a real game. We're still trying to win the game. A lot of people look at preseason differently, but I think this is where it starts for the Jags this year is game 1, preseason.
The improvement has been there for Lawrence as camp has gone along. The coaches around him commenting, including passing game coordinator Brian Schottenheimer.
He's doing really good. The last day or two, there's been goods and there's been bad. Quick with questions. It's weird. He's a guy, he's going to text you at 9:45 at night, 10 o'clock at night with questions. Hey, on the script it says this, is that this? Hey, what are you thinking on that? So he's working at it all the time. And he's progressing nicely. That's what you do with a young quarterback. There's going to be interceptions. He's thrown those. That's going to happen. Now, if he keeps repeating those mistakes, then that's when you know that he's not listening, he's not making the corrections, but he's not repeating those same mistakes. So that's when you get excited.
We could do 3 hours of pregame radio on Trevor Lawrence alone, I think, Mike, with everything.
10 hours a week on that, basically.
Right. That's how it works.
Well, look, he's everything as advertised, right? And this is a guy who's been vetted so well. Like, you didn't think this was going to go down any other kind of road. At least I didn't expect it would, JP. The guy's been a great prospect going back to his high school days. He's lived up to it. He's been a championship caliber player and seemingly a really good person as well. He's got his feet firmly planted on the ground. He realizes the opportunity that he has here, and there are just things he can do physically that the other quarterbacks on this roster are not able to do. It's just a matter of time before Urban Meyer makes the official declaration that he is the starting quarterback of this team, and then that'll be the last time that declaration needs to be made while Trevor Lawrence is in a Jaguar uniform.
Hopefully 10, 15 years.
A long time, right. A decade and a half sounds good to me.
That would be a very nice career and something we haven't had around here. In fact, let's move to defense now. What is this defensive scheme going to look like? Joe Cullen is back in the building. He's in his first defensive coordinator role in the NFL. He's a longtime defensive line coach. He was here through the 2012 season for about a three-season run as the D-line coach. What's it going to look like? A lot of pressure, it feels like, from Joe Cullen.
We'll blitz anybody, anywhere, from anywhere on the field. A corner can come, a safety can come, a nickel. But, yes, our linebackers are going to be asked to blitz. And, in the challenges the other day, both those guys that you just mentioned, Dakota was all over the field. Did a nice job.
And he's mentioned also in the past different packages. They'll have different rush groups and people coming from all over, and they're a hybrid defense. They're 3-4 on the depth chart. They can put 4 guys down up front. They can have dime packages. He's going to have all. He might not show any of that tonight, though.
Look, you go back to 2017, and you had 4 down linemen that could rush, and you didn't need to send extra guys, right? Rare is that, though, in the National Football League. You can not tell me that Jaguar fans have not been waiting for this day as they sit back and watch quarterbacks pick them apart as they try to play coverage against the best quarterbacks in the league in an era where everything is designed to help those passing games. So I think you got to come at it like Joe Cullen is doing. There are times you just have to send the house. There are times you have to send them from unique angles. Yeah, there are times you're going to rush 3 or 4, and hopefully those guys can get home. But it sounds like Joe Cullen is going to give what Jaguar fans have been looking for a while, and that is an effort to get that pressure consistently.
We heard this week from former first-round pick Caleb Unchazon. He was fired up for the 3-4 look on defense, more standing up outside in space for him, and he loves what he sees all over the field for the Jags.
We rolling out there. It's fast, man. We come in from all different types of ways, and, this defense, it's a lot of confidence coming in, and just – I feel like just what's different about this shit, we all kind of trusting each other as far as, everybody's kind of trusting that I'm going to do my job. I know Shaq going to do his job. Josh going to do his job. So it's getting fun out there. And then, especially when you're competing out there and you're making plays and you're going against the number 1 pick who don't look like number 1, look like a pro already. So it's like when you rush and hurry back, get to the quarterback, me and Josh trying to compete, get back there, and he throwing dimes. It's like, dang, come on. But it's fun, though. Like, just being in his defense and just being in his atmosphere right now is fun.
That's a happy defensive end and outside linebacker there. And he is not the only – it seems like every guy that comes up to the podium after practice, there's 2 or 3 a day, always has something to say about number 16, whether it's on offense or defense. Usually the offensive players are asked about the quarterback play and all that, but you got defensive guys.
Oh, absolutely. Shaq Griffin said it very early in the offseason, talking about, in the camp at least, where Trevor looks like, a guy that you wouldn't expect him to perform the way he does being a rookie. And, that's great to hear. As far as K'Lavon Chaisson goes, I think a lot of people, Jaguar fans, based on the rookie season, are like, hey, anything we get out of this guy this year is a bonus. A big mystery as to what his role was going to be and how effective he was going to be after, kind of a bust of a rookie season, let's be honest. But I think over the last 8 days or so of the practices I've been able to see, JP, and from the reports that I've heard firsthand, he's been coming on a little bit here. They need him because Josh Allen's the one guy that you feel like you can count on the opposite side. So K'Lavon Chaisson and Jordan Smith and some of these other guys, and certainly the down linemen as well, DeJuan Smoot, who led the team in sacks last year, all of them are going to be counted on. But K'Lavon Chaisson's got a lot of draft pedigree that he needs to live up to.
Finally, we heard today from Jaguars owner Shad Khan. The full conversation coming up in the final hour before kickoff on Countdown to Kickoff on the Jaguars Radio Network. A piece of that conversation was our discussion about expectations for the football team this year and beyond. Shad, what are your expectations on the football side this year and in the years ahead?
Well, I think we want to be a contender and be, sustainable winner. And again, I hate to look back, but you have to. I mean, 3 years ago, I thought, okay, the patience, the hard work, it's paying off, and we've turned the corner, and then we all know what happened. So I'm hoping now we start this journey. NFL now is 17 games. I think 6 teams going to the playoff. I think from each conference, I think it will. All we got to do is, be in the hunt for that, get into it, and then anything can happen. So to be a sustainable winner, is really what we're striving for.
More with Shad Khan coming up in the second hour of the Publix Tailgate Show, and his thoughts on head coach Urban Meyer so far in the building. And in the final hour before kickoff, Countdown to Kickoff, we'll get Mr. Khan's thoughts on the downtown development, which is on track at least so far. And we'll hopefully that maintains the right track, and it seems like it's going in the right direction. We'll hear from Mr. Khan a little bit later. Season tickets, single game tickets, and group tickets. Be a part of the new era of Jaguars football and own it. Visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Mike, it's time for a new segment on the Publix Tailgate Show. We're going to hear directly from Jaguars fans through your guy E.T.
Right, this is new maybe to you, but this is the pleasure I get every single day. Through a long off season sometimes to get up and talk for the next 2 hours about Jaguar football, and you cannot be uninspired after you hear E.T. when he's on a roll.
Emmanuel Thalleran, known as E.T. on Jaguars Today, with his weekly "Come on Somebody, Come on Everybody."
Good morning, Duval County, and welcome to the very first edition of Come On Somebody, Come On Everybody. First and foremost, I would like to thank you all, because you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. My name is Emmanuel, often referred to as E.T., and I am Duval till I die. Ooh, ooh! But that's enough about me, because this right here is about you, the people. All week, my phone lines have been booming, and I promise you to bring you the sounds of the madness each and every week. So let's go ahead and head to the phone lines and see what we're working with. Come on, somebody.
Hey, good morning. Let me get this off my chest first. Duval!
Whoa, coming in hot.
Duval! 10 toes down, baby, here in Jack's Beach.
Y'all excited.
Duval!
Every Sunday, I will have the Jags game on at the bar I work at.
What bar you work at, boy?
I will be going
No, so I have not been this excited since I was a kid.
This for the Jaguars today and every damn day crew.
Okay.
It ain't nothing but an E thing, baby.
Ooh.
Can I get 2 claps and a Duval? Come on, somebody.
As a matter of fact, you can. Duval!
I'm calling it today. Travis Etienne's new nickname is the ETN machine.
And why is that?
Because that guy is money, and the ETN machine is at the bank.
Straight cash, homie.
Come on, somebody.
Come on.
I said, come on, somebody.
Come on.
I say, come on, everybody.
I said we all coming, dog.
And for all you Brits out there, I say, let's go, JJs. Woo!
Shout out them JJs. That's Jacksonville Jaguars, people.
I just wanted to give you a Duval and a sock passe.
Oh, I appreciate that. Sock passe, King.
No doubt about it, man. ECP's like the mayor wherever he goes.
Y'all heard Nate B.
So if he tells me pull up, call, answer the phone, I'm going to do
Hit
it.
my line, people.
Come on, somebody. Jose here in Tampa. Just want to say one thing.
What you want to say, Jose?
Duval!
Don't get me started, Jose.
Jack Nathan.
We listening.
Come on, somebody.
Come on.
Jacksonville, what time is
You know what time it is.
Duval. Let's go, Jacksonville.
Ooh, ooh.
Macho Man Randy Savage here.
Macho Man checking in.
I've soared with the Eagles, and I've slithered with the Snakes.
Yeah.
And we're going to soar again as a team.
Oh, yeah.
And roar again as Jaguars. Duval.
Snap it to a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah.
Come on, somebody.
More.
Come on, somebody.
A little bit more.
Come on, somebody.
Okay.
Ooh, ooh.
Ooh.
Duval. Who want to eat a double?
Who want to eat a W? But where my ladies at?
Duval.
There they go.
Well, I've been listening to you guys since like 2014 or 15 when I found you online.
Oh, you loyal.
And thank you.
You're welcome, fam.
By the way, ET is the GOAT producer.
A little razzle dazzle. Thanks, fam.
From Brazil.
Oh, we international with it.
Come on, somebody.
We worldwide,
Give
Duval.
all my love to everybody in Duval. ET the legend, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Man, shout out Nate Burleson. And I will be sure to give all of Duval your love. That's a great way to wrap it up. I'd like to say thank you for everyone who tuned in to the very first edition of Come On Somebody, Come On Everybody. If I didn't get to you, just keep hitting my line. I will get to you eventually, because I am a man of the people. But now, it's game time. Come on, somebody.
What a debut for E.T., and you can get your Jaguars thoughts in each week on his call-in line, 904-207-7071, and leave him a voicemail. Boy.
I'm used to it. I'm like, when's he going to bring the hype? When is he going to bring the energy? E.T., that's all you had today? Come on, man. He's phenomenal, and I'm glad he's going to be a part of it every week.
We are just getting started on the Publix Tailgate Show ahead of preseason week 1 coming up at 4:30.
I want to see us go execute. Obviously, I'd love to see us put some points on the board and look sharp and keep the quarterback clean.
That's offensive coordinator Darrell Bevel, what he wants to see tonight from the offense. Up next, though, it's NFL Network and Jaguars preseason TV analyst Bucky Brooks live on set to get us ready for preseason week 1. The Browns and the Jaguars tee it up at 7 o'clock. And from TIAA Bank Field, this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
We've seen it 1,000 times. Insurance companies using the same tired excuses not to pay. They'll say you're really not hurt, or that your injury is from an old accident. That's why it's so important to hire a law firm who has their own medical experts, who know how to fight excuses with facts. When they bring excuses, we bring the truth. And truth is power. Farah and Farah. Here for you, here for good. Jacksonville.
At ViStar, we believe in better. Better convenience, so members can bank any way they want, whether it's at a branch, on a mobile device, or at one of more than 20,000 surcharge-free ATMs across North America. Because we believe that people have better things to do with their time. If you believe that convenience is better, join ViStar. Visit ViStarCU.org. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual visit or see a doctor in person at a Baptist Health location. The time for better health is here. Call 904-202-4YOU or visit getbetterjacks.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the SUVs of the future for everyone. Like Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer. All named 2021 IIHS top safety picks with specific headlights. One of the many reasons why Ford has the freshest lineup of SUVs in America. Because the SUVs of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford SUVs. Drive one today. When equipped with available LED headlamps based on AutoSource Incorporated data obtained on 10520.
Jaguars Game Day is presented by ViStar Credit Union. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. The Publix Tailgate Show rolls along. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. The Browns and the Jags at 7 o'clock tonight in preseason week 1. Hall of Fame head coach Jimmy Johnson spoke with the Jaguars this week. Take a listen.
So I ask you an easy question. How good do you want to be? That's an easy one. And you've got an easy answer. Yeah, hey, I want to be great. But are you going to sacrifice to be good? Are you going to own it? Because it's you. It's you. And there's no excuse about being young, guys. You know, we were the youngest team in the league the first Super Bowl. Youngest team in the league. So there are no excuses.
Jimmy Johnson speaking with the Jags, a full clip available on the Jaguars' social media channels. Tonight's game will air on CBS 47 in Jacksonville and on the Jaguars television network around the Southeast. Brian Sexton has the call with analyst Bucky Brooks, who joins us in studio now. My goodness, we did this all virtual last year. Here you are.
Power of Trevor Lawrence.
I feel like I didn't get the full Duval experience. I'm hearing ET's little clip over here. We're getting hype. I got you guys full in color. We got the full backdrop. I go to the stadium. It's the first time I've driven up to the stadium since '97. I'm all lost. I'm getting around, and I'm super excited. I got pregame butterflies and all kinds of stuff that never really happens.
Wow.
Ever, dude.
But now you're a little nervous tonight.
A little bit.
Why?
Because I sat down beside Urban yesterday, and Urban was talking, and I felt like the player. I sat on the edge of my seat, like I was supposed to sit up. He's talking about own it and ultimate accountability, and do you own it? I'm nodding my head. Yes. I'm ready.
Sir. Yes, coach.
Can you be the best? And all this other stuff. And then I got player after player. Basically, they come in before he comes in during the production meeting, and they all are saying the same thing, right? So we talked to Trevor first, and Trevor's is like cool as the other side of the pillow. Like he's just cool and saying this and competitive. He's not worried about the Garner Minshew compete thing. Like, hey, I got to go out and earn it, this and that. So then Josh Allen comes, and he's talking about Coach Meyer wants us to be the best players, best coaches, best staff, best diet, all of it.
Yeah.
And then Urban comes, and he's talking about all of just the edge, right? Where average stops and elite begins.
You got to power through the edge. Power through.
And
Come on.
All of that. So now I'm like, I mean, can I be the best broadcaster? Can I be the best broadcaster in the preseason to make sure that I am the best and I'm living up to the thing? So it's a lot on me right now, JP.
It's a lot to deal with.
It's a lot to process.
What do you think, though, Bucky, from afar? You've seen how training camps played out. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, we obviously talk about him nonstop for months and months and months, but he is, to me, he's looked like everything he's been cracked up to be.
Look, I'm going to say this, Demp, because last year during the season, I was like, I don't know, like Trevor, Justin Fields, this and that. And some of that is because you're not around it every day. And then I think the eye-opener for me was watching him live in minicamp or last week in the scrimmage, where what you should see from an evaluation, a scout standpoint is every day you should see like those dudes, those blue chip guys, do something that you're like, oh yeah, that's what it should look like. And so just watching the scrimmage last week, and you're watching them, and we see the hard scrimmage on Saturday, but then Sunday when they kind of did it for the fans, and you're watching him make throws. And he does the pro day throw that everyone says they never do that. Like you roll right and throw it all the way across the field to Laquan Treadwell on the dime, and you're like, oh yeah. He's one of those guys. And I've loosely made a comparison, Justin Herbert plus, because knowing both of those guys and seeing them, like, they're like one and the same in terms of size, athleticism, whatever. But I've always said Trevor has the plus because he has a little more pizzazz to his play than Justin. So I'm just hoping tonight we get a chance to see that part of it, because I'm really confident that, like, he's a dude. And it's not just me saying that. It's listening to Josh Allen say it. Then Laviska Shenault say it. And then Urban talk about it. And that's what it should be. Because what I've always learned and what I've always experienced having played with Brett Favre in Green Bay, the one thing that a franchise quarterback should do is give you hope. That if the game is on the line with 2 minutes left, if we can get a stop and give it back to him, he'll figure out a way to do it. The same fear and trepidation that we have when you're playing the Patriots or now the Buccaneers with Tom Brady, that's what you want on your team. That if it's 2 minutes left, he gets it, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. And I feel like in the building, there's a sense of we finally have that guy. And I think that makes it easy to build the rest of the team when you feel like you got that piece of the puzzle.
Bucky Brooks with us here on the Publix Tailgate Show. How long do the first team offensive players go, and how long should they go, Bucky?
I mean, look, I think they're going to play, 15, 20 plays. That's pretty standard for a first preseason game. That should take you maybe the first quarter where you get a feel of it. I think a lot will determine on how Trevor and that first offense looks when they get it. If they get it and go right down the field and score, they may come out. But if they have a little struggle, you may want to kind of get him enough to kind of get a good sense of, he feels good about the first one going into it. But what's interesting when you talk to the players, their intent is to win the game. Like, I know on the outside we talk about, preseason doesn't count. But to them, they're like, no, this matters. We want to win everything. Urban talks about winning everything. He's not talking about necessarily the result on the scoreboard, but he had challenged the coaches, coach this like it's a regular season game. Coach this like it's a real game. We have to be fair to the players to give them all of that. And so the players, to a man, said, we can't wait. We can't wait to run out. We can't wait to play, whatever. It wasn't the too cool for school, like, let's get it over with, get to the regular season. Like, all of those guys, maybe they're too young to know any different, but they all are like, let's go get it. Look, we'll fast forward in 3 years. We'll see if it's the same energy, but right now they're really excited about the preseason.
I think, Bucky, one of the big questions this offseason is where's the pass rush going to come from consistently? We talked about it a little bit before you got on. Joe Cullen's going to send him from every angle. But in terms of personnel-wise, do you think they have enough right now to have, if they get some of those fourth quarter leads to really unleash those guys?
You have to have at least two dudes to be able to be a defense that creeps towards elite status. So we believe Josh Allen is one because Josh Allen has been a Pro Bowler. He's had 10-plus sacks. We've seen him take the quarterback down. Who is going to be the other guy that emerges? Well, naturally, you think about what Caleb Von Chasen has to be that complement to Josh Allen just because first-round pick coming out of LSU, very athletic. When I talked to Josh Allen yesterday, Josh Allen said, keep an eye on Caleb Von Chasen because now he is doing what he did at LSU. The new defense fits him better than maybe the old defense did because those guys are 3-4 stand-up ends. They're used to being able to come forwards and backwards and do a bunch of different creative things. They believe that this defense best suits what they've what they're blessed to do. And so we'll see if K'Lavon Chasen can be the wild card to develop and be that second, because you got to have a second one. You got Allen the fastball. You need to have a complement that can take some of the pressure off of him.
TV tonight, Bucky.
Yeah.
I know you're, very experienced as an analyst and things, but how many games have you done? Is this kind of?
I've done a handful of games. I mean, like, look, I won't disrespect the high school guys, but I've called a couple of high school games. Okay. I've given them the same kind of love. I've been in Jerry's world and called a couple of games, and so this should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. Just to do it for one, I've told you off air, like playing in Jacksonville, for me, my best on-field memories happen with the Jaguars. So to come full circle and to do some of this stuff, it's cool.
I saw some clip on social media a little while back of you on a
knocking somebody out.
Yeah, knocking somebody out.
Knocking my best friend out.
Lumber.
Just out there. And then I did the squirrel with my guys. I danced a little bit because it was popular back then in the mid-'90s. I did a little squirrel. I was excited. It was the playoffs.
I like that.
Got to be excited for the playoffs.
I like that. Bucky, have a great call tonight, man. We'll look forward to seeing you a bunch this season.
Can you tell I've had a little coffee already?
I think you're
plus
caffeinated.
Can you tell? You think I'm a little caffeinated? I'm trying not to peak too soon, though. I got to have something to say.
It's a long night. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Plenty ahead on the Publix Tailgate show coming up at 4:45. It's free agent cornerback edition, Shaquille Griffin.
I know they're ready for this 2-6 they be hanging around. I'm ready to see him in the stands. First 2-6 jersey I see in the stands. When I get my first pick, I'm throwing the football to him.
That's a promise. He'll have his thoughts on Urban Meyer's first NFL training camp as well. Up next, though, offensive coordinator Darrell Bevel explains what he expects from the offense in preseason week 1. Browns-Jaguars at 7 o'clock tonight at TIAA Bank Field. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
After a major storm, you can count on JEA to safely restore power as quickly as possible. During Phase 1, we restore power to critical infrastructure, hospitals, shelters, and police and fire stations. In Phase 2, we put all our resources into restoring power to neighborhoods and businesses. And during Phase 3, we won't stop until every outage is resolved. Because when the community you serve is home, there's more than power on the line. Learn more at Do More with JEA.com. JEA, building a more resilient community.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Hi. This is Dr. Patrick Basil of Basil Plastic Surgery and Wellness. I'm a proud veteran of the U.S. Navy, and during my active duty time, I had the amazing privilege to serve our country and those who were wounded in combat. Helping my patients return to a normal life, I was able to provide an unparalleled level of care, which I've carried over to my own private practice today. As the official plastic surgeon of the Jaguars, I invite you to visit us at patrickbasilmd.com and would like to wish the Jags best of luck in today's game.
You're working from home. So how do you connect with coworkers and clients? With RingCentral, the #1 global communication solution for business. RingCentral makes talking, texting, collaborating, and video calls easy. And it's all on one platform. And when we say everyone should be connected, we mean it. It's why we're giving RingCentral free to educators, health providers, and nonprofits. Learn more at ringcentral.com. Welcome to the new RingCentral.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars at Houston, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Los Angeles. Taunt the other teams in Nashville, New York, and Boston. When you fly nonstop from Duval, on-airport parking will punt the stress from your travel itinerary. Garage facilities offer defensive coverage from the weather and are a 50-yard dash from the terminal. And economy lots are now open at just $6 a day. To learn more about nonstop flights and on-airport parking, visit flyjax.com.
The Publix Tailgate Show rolls along. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. The Cleveland Browns and the Jacksonville Jaguars at 7 o'clock. Tonight's game is presented by Gate, serving up more. This offense could be really fun to watch this year, obviously, with a quarterback. There's a lot of playmakers out there. The wide receivers, at least the guys that are first in the depth chart, seem solidified, and we'll see about the fourth, fifth, sixth guys. The running back, there's a stable of those guys now. I'm really excited to see what Darrell Bevell cooks up this year, Mike.
Well, I think the returning guys will get a boost from having the chance to play with Trevor Lawrence, but then you bring in a guy like Marvin Jones, who just has quietly been an excellent player in the National Football League, 9 touchdowns in 3 of the last 4 seasons, and he's backed that up with his play in training camp. I mean, he looks like the real deal out there, to where if he ends up being your number one, you wouldn't be surprised at the end of the year. And then, Travis Etienne, with the electricity that he brings in, the cool connection, having played with Trevor Lawrence. We'll see what the tight end position has to offer this year, but O'Shaughnessy has had a little bit of a connection in the red zone with Trevor Lawrence, at least at the practices I've been able to attend, JP. So some of the pieces are in place. They're going to continue to add more over the next few years, but Darrell Bevell's been around the block, and hopefully he can get the best out of him.
We caught up with the offensive coordinator for the Jaguars, Darrell Bevell, earlier this week. The first real public look at your offense in preseason week 1. Well, maybe some elements of the offense. I'm sure you're going to keep some tricks up your sleeve tonight.
Yeah, we don't want to go out and show them all our stuff for the first week, but we need to make sure we see these guys play and give them the best opportunity to be successful.
Darrell, I'm curious about the working relationship with Urban Meyer, of course, the Jaguars head coach, and Brian Schottenheimer, the passing game coordinator. You've had an off season now to work on this offense together. During the game action, we might find out tonight, the communication in game, how that works. How has that been so far, building this offense with those two guys and, of course, the players on the offensive side?
Yeah, I mean, that's the fun part, to be able to put a system together and, number one, come in and find out the players that you have. What are their skill sets? How can I accentuate the positive skill sets that they have, minimize the weaknesses? Then we have Coach Urban, Coach Schottenheimer, and all of us being able to put our brains together, put guys in the best situations.
How does that work during the game? Or will you find out tonight, the communication with Schottenheimer especially? Yeah,
so I'm going to be in the box, and Schotty's going to be on the field. And we'll have, constant communication, and I'll call the plays straight into the quarterback. Shotty's on the line, Coach Urban's on the line. So we'll see exactly the communication that you're talking about, JP, once the game starts.
Darrell Bevell with us, the Jaguars offensive coordinator. Quarterback play, everybody's eyes are on that position this offseason, and I'm sure Trevor is probably primed and ready to get something going tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's my job, and, put him in situations to be successful. We have really good players around him, so I'm excited about that. We have those 5 offensive linemen that are playing together, for another year, so that's always a bonus for you. And then, the playmakers that we have on the outside, and just, let him go play and get them the ball. I mean, not too hard, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. The offensive line, though, is key because – you got to protect that investment in the backfield, too. And those guys played well in the running game in the past year. So you have all those 5 guys back together. I think that's important for certainly a young quarterback and his confidence. You don't have to worry about as much up front. And then you have guys that you'll probably see a lot of tonight, Walker Little, Ben Barch, younger guys in this organization that are going to get some work tonight, it feels like, and maybe have a role in this offensive line.
For sure. This is an opportunity for all these guys, and, the guys that you mentioned, Ben Barch and Walker Little, Will Richardson. So a lot of guys at each and every position for them to battle and make the team, and that's why we have these preseason games.
Darrell Bevell with us, offensive coordinator. You mentioned some of the skill guys, but one of the new faces here is Travis Etienne, first-round pick. As a coordinator, as a play caller, you got to love what this guy can do in his skill set because you have so many options with him, it feels like, on the offensive side.
Yeah, it's great to have playmakers, JP. We have to figure out ways to get the ball in their hand, whether it's Travis, whether it's LaVisca, it's Marv, and I could keep going down the list. But to be able to get the ball and make it easy on the quarterback and let those playmakers make plays.
Early in camp, Daryl, there's been a lot of injuries on the wide receiver core for this team. So you've had a lot of new faces coming and going. That can be a challenge early in camp. But there's a lot of guys that have had really good camps, it feels like, at the wide receiver position. For me, it feels like that could be the toughest cut of all when it comes down to the final roster. I know we're, 3 weeks away from that. But that's a good sign when you have so many guys that have an opportunity to play well in camp and then maybe tonight as well.
Yeah, I think that's a really good observation. For those, when you lose the guys, the 1 through 4, 1 through 5, it gives the guys down the line opportunities, and they're in there with the first group. So they, obviously it becomes a bigger spotlight on them when they're with that group. So those guys have really responded well. We have a lot of them. Treadwell's done a good job. Tavon Austin's done a good job, and can continue to talk about those guys. Jeff Cotton came in, Tevin came in, and they've gotten a lot of reps, a lot of opportunities. So it does make that battle and those choices harder.
Final thought with you here, Daryl Bevell, offensive coordinator with us. What is a successful night for the first team offense when they're out there?
Well, I want to see us go execute, number one. Obviously, I'd love to see us put some points on the board and look sharp and keep the quarterback clean.
Sounds good enough to me, Daryl. Have a great night. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Daryl Bevell, offensive coordinator. He's been coordinator in the NFL for a long time, quarterbacks coach in the old days with the Packers. And here we go. It's going to be interesting. Him and Brian Schottenheimer getting together. Schottenheimer's the passing game coordinator. We heard from him earlier in the show today. I'm sure Trevor's involved in that. Urban Meyer's on the line, too. I would love to have a headset to listen to those conversations in-game.
Yeah, no doubt, JP. But I think it's interesting how Urban Meyer's basically handing off a lot of responsibility to Daryl Bevell and Brian Schottenheimer, saying, look, there are things that I know I don't know. And these guys have been through it at the pro level. Like clock management is different in the pro game. You're not going to get the clock to stop after a first down like you do in college. And so, he is really leaning on those guys to help him acclimate to the National Football League. And, Bevell's been around. He's not going to be flustered by anything he sees. I will say this, though. I'd like him to look sharp, too, but keep the quarterback clean is probably number one on my list.
Okay.
All right? That's top of my list today.
Sure, and that goes to the offensive line. We heard Daryl talking about it there. All 5 guys are back, and they've had an addition at tackle, too, in Walker Little. So I think they're very happy with what's happening up front.
Well, the way I think you look at the left tackle spot is either Cam Robinson probably steps up his play because he's getting pushed, or Walker Little is so good that he's going to force you to put him on the field. Then either way, that's a win-win for the Jags.
Plenty ahead on the Publix Tailgate show. We'll come back in a moment with Jaguars cornerback Shaquille Griffin sharing his personal pre-practice interactions with head coach Urban Meyer. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between, this truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. 7 o'clock kickoff time tonight for the Cleveland Browns and Jacksonville Jaguars from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Hi, folks. Frank Frangie here to tell you where to find the most authentic Southern pit barbecue in all of Jacksonville. That's right, Bono's. For 72 years, Bono's has been smoking real pit barbecue right here on the First Coast. Smoked for hours, served in minutes, and always cut to order. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field. Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Move day is on the 20, the 10. Yes, another successful move to a new home. I tell you, folks, I've never seen a team more prepared than the Move Day crew. With a dominating lead in training, trust, and moving efficiency, it's no wonder why Move Day is the official moving company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Track your goods online and get updated play-by-plays throughout your move process. While the Jags are moving the chains on game day, they're here to help you on moving day. Call 844-MY-MOVE-DAY or visit MoveDayMovers.com.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you ready to talk some trash? Well, nobody talks trash quite like Waste Pro, the official waste service and recycling partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Specializing in residential and commercial solid waste and recycling collection, processing, and disposal, Waste Pro is equipped to handle all your recycling and garbage removal needs. For service, call 904-731-7288. Waste Pro, caring for communities and caring for Jacksonville.
Nothing kicks off your game better than a handful of Georgia peanuts. Power-packed with protein, essential nutrients, and great taste, Georgia peanuts are the MVP for affordability, sustainability, and nutrition. To score life's touchdowns with recipes and fun facts, check out GAPeanuts.com. The perfectly powerful peanut is brought to you by the family farmers of the Georgia Peanut Commission.
Peanuts! Get your peanuts!
Hey Jags fans, heading to TIAA Bank for a game? Take advantage of Jags Pay and keep your stadium transactions touch-free. Jags Pay is an all-new partnership between the Jaguars and Tap It to give our fans a contactless payment option for all concessions and merchandise. It's fast, safe, and easy to use. Just download the official Jaguars app on any mobile device, tap Jags Pay, and set up your secure payment method. You're all set. To learn more, visit jaguars.com/JagsPay. See you at the bank.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs, and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Jaguars Game Day is presented by ViStar Credit Union. The Publix Tailgate Show continues from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. Browns Jaguars at 7 o'clock in preseason week number 1. Time now, Mike, for our Baptist Health visit with a player. Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. And Shaquille Griffin has, I think, already become somewhat of a fan favorite, at least in the open training camp days. I don't think he's met a microphone he doesn't like, which is a great thing.
No, he has not met a microphone he doesn't like, and also he will not accept fans sitting on their hands, right? He's gonna and he wants you to know you're allowed to cheer for the defense as well as the offense. I've heard all these things come out of his mouth. I think he's an excitable guy, but I think most importantly, JP, he's done a great job in coverage. He's had some good battles, taking on the Jags, whoever happens to be the number one wide receiver in any given formation. So he's played well, which is the most important thing, but he's got an infectious energy about him as well.
No doubt, and has really instantly become a leader in that secondary for a lot of guys who weren't here. I mean, most of that secondary is brand new this season, and he's been around the league a few years, and we caught up with Shaquille Griffin, one of the newest additions to the Jaguars at corner, and he's got a promise to the fans if things go his way tonight. How is Camp Meyer so far?
Oh, man, it's been amazing. The competition has been absolutely crazy. And, he's given exactly what he said he's going to give us. He said it's going to be tough. His sun's going to be out. It's going to be hot. It's going to be some adversity. And everything that he's saying, we're seeing. And, you get a chance to see who's really ready to play, who's really ready to fight through whatever situation we might face. And it's awesome because I feel like these type of practices in this camp we need it. It starts to show who's really going to be able to put everything on the line when it comes down to it. So, this camp has been definitely different and new for me, but well needed.
I find it interesting watching Urban Meyer before practice. He's usually the first guy out on the practice field. His switch is turned on every day to get this thing going. But he always seems to try to have a personal moment with most every guy he can out there before practice. I think there's a real connection, at least early, with the head coach and the coaching staff here for a lot of these players, and I'm sure you're included in that.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And I feel like one thing that he does, too, he get a chance to look people in their eyes, directly in the face and kind of see what type of energy they bring. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can feel it. And I think that's when he get a chance to really talk to people one-on-one. One thing he always tell me is, Shaq, what do you got every day? And my response is whatever you need. And that's just keeping me in tune to myself, what I got to do for the day, what I got to work on, how important it is, my craft, working hard, giving effort, it's just a little reminder. And I think that's the type of things he try to in tune to people and try to engrave, continue to say, speak that positive self-talk, positive energy, getting people prepared. And, most coaches don't take the time to do that, so that's big for us.
Shaquille Griffin with us, Jaguars cornerback on the Publix Tailgate show. Shaq, this unit going out to practice every day, before you walk on the practice field, everybody gathers to the side. It doesn't seem like you guys run out there on your own. How close has this defensive back room become over the last 3-4 months?
Oh, man, really close. I actually got a chance to train with some of the guys, we broke from OTAs, getting a chance to continue to train with them C guys and come back and continue the same grind. And, we get a chance to huddle up, right before practice, just like I said, to get everybody, focused, back in tune, understand what we got to work on. And we get a nice little break, getting that bond together. That's how tight we have to be. So we continue to focus on that. We're still trying to build off that. I feel like we just getting started. But, man, these past 4 months has been amazing. We've been getting closer, getting a chance to hang out with each other, understand, where everybody come from, their living, understand the families they're trying to feed. I want to battle with those guys. I want to fight for the guys, whatever it takes to make sure they're taking care of their family. I want to be able to do that. So that's the type of bond we're trying to build, that family group.
Shaquille Griffin with us. There's a lot of new faces. You're one of those in that secondary, of course. Rayshon Jenkins, who you know well from the old days, is back there.
Yep.
There's a lot of new faces that are young, though, as well. Draft equity. Tyson Campbell at corner. Andre Sisco at safety has had a good camp so far. Take us through those young guys especially. What have you seen out of Campbell, and what kind of camp has he had? And Sisco on the back end had some questions about that knee, but I think he's answered a lot of those in camp so far.
Yeah, when it comes to Campbell, I feel like he's picking up on things really fast. You go in the beginning and you see these rookie make little rookie mistakes, and some rookies continue to make the same mistakes. With him, he makes his correction. He makes sure it doesn't happen again. He's picking up on the questions. We asking questions in the meeting room. He's quick to answer, really quick. And that makes a difference. Understand that he knows exactly what he need to do. When it comes in practice, taking the technique and utilizing it, learning it, practicing it. It's a rookie that doesn't act like a rookie, and that's what we need. And when it comes to Sisco doing the same thing, he definitely answered the bell when it comes to, the knee, being able to be out there every day, giving the effort that he gives, learning how he's learning, stepping up in a huge way. And, we got a lot of young guys on the team, but I already told them, it's that young stuff have to hit the door. We can't use that anymore because when you're the best in the league, they don't say how old you are. You're just the best. So that's what we focus on.
Everybody's an NFL player now. Doesn't matter how many years you've been in the league.
Exactly.
Shaquille Griffin with us, Jaguars corner. Final thought here with you, Shaq. It feels like you've taken to this fan base pretty quickly, and I feel like the fan base has taken to you. That's a great start here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, no doubt.
How excited are you to get out in front of the fans tonight?
Oh, man, I'm really excited, man. At this point, man, I'm just ready to get back to this ball and, get a chance to get the fans hyped up, get the ball in my hand, throw a couple footballs in the stands, celebrate with the guys. And, right now, I'm trying to get these guys to get these jerseys inside these stores. I know they're ready for this 2-6 to be hanging around. I'm ready to see them in the stands. First 2-6 jersey I see in the stands, when I get my first pick, I'm throwing the football to them.
Oh, wow. What a deal. I'm going to have to get a 26 jersey tonight.
Yeah. If I see it, I'm throwing right to it. That's your ball.
I love it. Shaq, good luck to you, and we'll talk to you down the line. Have a great game.
I appreciate that.
Full of personality, Shaquille Griffin. I think he's going to be a great addition here in Jacksonville, Mike.
Yeah, full of personality, full of playmaking ability, and obviously, you don't want to hear about young. I get that, but it is a young group in the secondary, and they're going to look to him as a former Pro Bowler, as a leader.
Time now for our weekly commentary from Jaguars sideline reporter Rick Ballou, and we call it Has Rick Lost It?
Preseason game number 1. You could feel the buzz right now in Duval. I want to spend my time on one man, though. That's Urban Meyer. Why? Well, he won 85% of his games, won 3 national titles. But it's what I didn't know about Urban Meyer that has blown me away. First off, he has been incredibly transparent. Now, I can hear you now. You're yelling at me, say, what are you talking about, Ballou? He won't even name the starting quarterback. When's he going to announce Trevor Lawrence? I'm sure that's part of his plan. Perhaps that's a way to show the team that nothing is given. It's earned. Who knows? Maybe it's a way to create a little bit more trade interest in the stock value in Gardner Minshew. We'll see. For what it's worth, I can't see Lawrence in a game with the second-string offensive line. Since his opening press conference, Meyer has outlined what he wants and what he expects. I've never seen one as thorough as Urban Meyer in every aspect when it comes to being the man to change this culture, a culture filled with losing. Meyer talked recently about being invited by Bill Belichick to the 2006 training camp with the New England Patriots. He said certain players, their presence was incredible, how they affected everyone in the locker room. Brady, Rodney Harrison, Mike Vrabel. Meyer had never seen anything like it. It's obvious now why he's brought in players like Shaq Griffin, Rayshon Jenkins, Marvin Jones Jr., here to lead the Jags, who have obviously been lacking that for the last couple of years. Urban also needs players in the locker room who can affect other players. If it's not working out, he can rely on those guys to come back to him and say, get him out of here. He's completely involved in everything during his up-tempo practice, whether it's getting in the middle of the winners-losers drill or giving an almost daily pre-practice speech. Am I adding to the hype? Hell yeah. But it's only because what I've witnessed firsthand. In the short time that he's been here, he's made me a believer. What about you?
That's Rick Ballou, Jaguars Radio Network sideline reporter and host of Into the Night. What about you, Mike?
I think there are reasons to believe Urban Meyer is going to be successful because he's so detail-oriented, but there's no guarantee until we really see the finished product. I mean, how many times have we been excited about, this coach comes in, it's a fresh approach. It's a new set of eyes. It's always exciting when a new guy comes in, but and I assume most NFL coaches are detail-oriented, but it does seem that the players are responding to what Urban Meyer is preaching. As we talked about earlier, JP, they're repeating those slogans as if they're second nature to them, and they're buying in with the aspect of everything is a competition for this team. Why shouldn't it be? They were 1-15 last year. They've generally been really bad most of the last 12 years, with the rare exceptions. So Urban Meyer's coming in, he's saying the old ways are not good enough, nor should they be good enough. Right. Now, he knows, as we said earlier, he's smart enough to know what he doesn't know, and he's going to lean on some of his staff, and he's going to probably take some bumps along the way, but so far so good on the Urban Meyer front.
PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jaguars, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. Coming up in the second hour of the Publix Tailgate Show, top stories of the week, including the tight end room.
Ever since the first day he got here, he's hungry, he's asking questions, and he's gotten better.
That's free agent addition Chris Manhertz, who had a similar path to the tight end position as Tim Tebow. We'll hear from Manhertz coming up. Plus, First Rounds on Us, our weekly visit with former first-round picks Tony Baselli and Jeff Lageman. Browns-Jaguars at 7 o'clock, and this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
At ViStar, we believe in better, especially in helping build a better financial future for our members. So we've reviewed our offerings from the ground up. We've lowered or eliminated over half our fees and enhanced our already competitive rates, saving members more than $1 million this year, in addition to the millions we save them every year. If you believe that saving money is better, join ViStar. Visit ViStarCU.org. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
The Dick's Wings and Grill family of restaurants is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They invite you to stop into one of their area neighborhood grills where you can count on fresh quality wings where you call the flavor. At Dick's Wings and Grill, their menu has a food and flavor for everyone in your group. If you prefer delivery or online ordering, just visit dickswingsandgrill.com. Every Dick's Wings and Grill is locally owned and operated. Dick's Wings and Grill, winging it since 1994.
Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies is one of the fastest-growing workforce solutions companies in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI has the resources necessary to scale with any enterprise, yet they are small enough to maintain the agility, personal service, and remarkable experience they've become known for over the past 3 decades. This is your workforce and your business reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more.
Feeling hungry, Jaguars fans? Fuel your Duval energy with a delicious Stallmeyer all-beef hot dog on game day as you support your Jacksonville Jaguars. Whether you're at the game or at home, it's not game day without a Stallmeyer all-beef hot dog made in Florida. Stallmeyer all-beef hot dogs will fuel your energy to help bring on a victory for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Stallmeyer all-beef hot dogs are available at your local Publix supermarkets. Don't feel hungry, Jaguars fans. Fuel your energy with the official hot dog of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Stallmeyer.
So we had a problem with our office IT systems a few months back. And of course, I don't want the boss getting upset about it, since she still hasn't forgiven me for last month's wardrobe malfunction. So I did the smart thing and called Sassine's Office Systems. They've provided top-notch IT solutions and services since 1981, including Canon copiers, printers, and mailing solutions. They even handle wide-format printers and electronic document storage, which is important since my boss still hasn't forgiven me for the birthday cake incident. Best of all, Sassine's Office Systems has flexible support programs, certified field techs, and fast, friendly service for one flat monthly fee. And saving money is always a good thing, especially since my boss still hasn't forgiven me for my parachute pants presentation. I was actually wearing parachute pants.
Trust Sassine's Office Systems to handle your IT equipment and office systems, including Canon-connected copiers and printers. Learn more at sassines.com. That's SISSINES.com.
Jaguars Game Day is presented by ViStar Credit Union. Hour 2 of the Publix Tailgate Show. We are 2 hours away from kickoff in preseason week 1. The Cleveland Browns and the Jacksonville Jaguars at 7 o'clock. Tonight's game is presented by Gate, serving up more. How about serving up some more scoring this year for the Jaguars? New look offense, new quarterback, new look defense, 3-4, but they are multiple. They can do some different things. New head coach, a lot of new around here, Mike.
Yeah, only need to be better in 3 areas, JP, and you know what they are. Offense, defense, special teams, right? So, across the board, let's have some more scoring. Let's have some second-half leads so we can let Joe Cullen's defense get a little crazy and creative with that pass rush. Our Urban Meyer is a big-time believer in the importance of special teams, and you've seen some signings this offseason that particularly go to that area of the field. So, look, there's room for improvement across the board, and we expect to see it.
Game day weather is presented by roofclaim.com. Protection made simple. Currently 79 degrees. There is a little bit of rain on the way. 80% chance at 6 o'clock. In an hour from now, 40% at kickoff time at 7 o'clock, and then it should hopefully dry out a little bit by about 8 o'clock tonight. Kickoff at 7 for tonight's game. Here are today's top stories. Urban Meyer settling in for his first season as the head coach of the Jags. A mix of college and NFL coaches on his coaching staff, leaning on that NFL experience to help determine reps in tonight's game.
Once again, I'm learning and listening. I think when you say ones, you have a guy like Linder that's an 8-9 year vet that maybe come out a little earlier than a guy that's a starter that needs more reps. So it's more, instead of say first team, it's more on an individual basis.
And we'll see what happens, of course, tonight and then next Monday night in New Orleans. And I think different organizations will have different strategies because of the different preseason now. One less preseason game. Stefanski, I don't think, using any starters tonight for the Cleveland Browns.
No, I don't think so. And you've seen, like, the Rams have said they're not going to really play starters at all in the preseason. I think it depends on where your team is. I mean, the Browns, playoff team, the Rams, a playoff team. The Jags are 1-15 last year. So, and again, it's a new team. It's a new year. But you've got to get your rookie quarterback ready, but you also want to protect that rookie quarterback when he's in there, so maybe your offensive line plays a little bit longer than it otherwise would. JP, there's nobody much on this roster that can sit back and say, hey, look at my track record. I don't need to be out there, and I think you'll see the Jags play guys more than some around the National Football League who have more of a veteran squad.
We're 2 weeks now into training camp, and number 1 overall pick quarterback Trevor Lawrence seems comfortable for the most part. A few throws a day, turn heads on the practice field in a good way. Going through reads has improved for him also.
As time goes on, you keep learning, and when you learn from a mistake, when you make a mistake, it's like, well, I'm not going to do that again. So it's like I've had a few, dumb mistakes over the past few weeks. That's just part of, the learning curve, the learning process. And, the good thing is when you make a mistake, you're probably not going to do the same thing again. So that's the way I've been looking at it. But I think just trusting my guys, building that, relationship and connection and trust with them to where I'm not having to really think. I know what I'm doing. They know what they're doing. And I know the spot they're going to be in. And I think we're getting more and more comfortable. And then for me, just keeping it simple, finding the open guy, not trying to do too much. We got great players. I don't have to I don't have to run around and do everything. We got guys that can make plays, so just trusting them.
He gives thorough answers as well, Lawrence does.
He's well prepared. Now, look, I think for my eyeball test, the biggest difference when you see Trevor Lawrence in these training camp practices is how quickly the ball gets on his receivers, right? Like when they come out of their break, the ball is there. And even when the other quarterbacks are completing a lot of passes, sometimes there's that half second of hesitation that you can get away with in a training camp practice when there's not full contact and guys aren't breaking on the ball like they would in a game. Trevor Lawrence delivers balls that you're like, that's what it should look like for a top-flight NFL quarterback. Now, he's got to do that when it really matters, but he's got the raw material to work with.
Gardner Minshew will get some time tonight as well, using this opportunity in training camp to improve and not worry about the competition as much or not worry about where he's playing either.
And that's, something I've never been through, never, kind of went through this ordeal. But I've learned, let your agent handle all that stuff. Like I said, control what I can. I can control what team I play for. I control how I prepare, how I work, how I interact with the guys around me. So those are the things I'm focusing on, and I believe if I do all the right things that I can play in this league as long as I want.
Urban Meyer the other day said that, he didn't really know Gardner Minshew. He knew his college coach, Mike Leach, but didn't really know him at all and didn't know much about him and had not much contact. Well, as that contact has gone along in this offseason and now in the training camp, Urban said the other day that he's been really impressed by the way he's going about his business and just avoiding all that other distraction.
Yeah, he said he's won him over. He referred to him as a warrior competitor. I thought he was going to, suggest him as the next lead for the next Highlander movie or something like that. I mean, honestly,
gotta get the hair back.
He's capable of it. We know he's still young enough. He can grow that back, JP, unlike us.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, look, what are you going to do? But come out and compete and put yourself in a position. Gardner Minshew's no dummy. He knows they took Trevor Lawrence number 1 overall. He knows where the future of this organization is headed. So, whether it's here as a really good backup or getting an opportunity maybe through a trade if another team has an injury, we'll find out where the future takes him. But for right now, he's certainly checking the boxes for what Urban Meyer wants to see.
New faces on the defensive line for the Jaguars this year. They needed to improve. That's the nice way to say it against the run from a year ago. They got stouter up front. Devon Hamilton is now in year 2 at nose tackle. Malcolm Brown traded in from the Saints. Brown, one of the additions this offseason. Joe Cullen, the defensive coordinator, loves the size up front.
I tell you, they're working great every day. And I tell you, Wednesday when we had our challenge day, they both really stood tall. And Ham's a second-year guy. Loved him coming out. He's got the makeup of what we need in the middle. Big 330-pound girth nose tackle that can get knocked back, and he showed that on Wednesday with pads.
Yeah, Hamilton is a large human being and not a fat guy either. I mean, he's just a big, broad body up front. 330 is legit. And Malcolm Brown has experience at the Super Bowl level as a nose tackle and a guy who's been at it for a little while in the league. Those two guys together, and Roy Robertson-Harris, another addition. Jihad Ward is an end also in this defense. So it's a lot of new faces up front, and hopefully they've solved some of the run game woes.
Yeah, Malcolm Brown is not under the radar if you've been paying attention, right? I mean, because he's been one of the most talked about guys in terms of a key addition to help slow down opposing teams' run games. Devon Hamilton admitted himself he is trimmed down a little bit. He needed to, and he's got better weight on him this year. And we'll see Roy Robertson-Harris taking a big step up from being a rotational guy to being a front of that rotation kind of guy. But those three right now, what you're hearing out of training camp and what you're seeing with your own eyes, the Jags are pretty well situated, at least with their starting 3 down linemen for the 3-4 look.
Let's talk tight end now. Chris Manhertz is at the top of the depth chart. He came in free agency from the Carolina Panthers, considered one of the top blocking tight ends in the NFL. Tim Tebow is down the depth chart a little bit. Both should get some time tonight. Tebow a little bit more, most likely, than Manhertz. Of course, now Manhertz played college basketball, never played football until a tryout with the Bills in 2015. That didn't go great. It went well enough for him to latch on with the Saints practice squad and then later with another team in the Carolina Panthers. And now he's got a free agent contract to go with it. Well, it's a similar story to what Tim Tebow is trying to do, changing positions. His first training camp at tight end, Manhertz has respect for the challenge that Tebow's going through.
Look, we know that this transition is tough, and I'm speaking firsthand. And in saying that, and there's a lot of things and a lot of nuance that goes into the position of playing tight end. So Tim, ever since the first day he got here, he's hungry, he's asking questions, and he's gotten better. And that's all you could ask for, and that's the type of attitude that, you know, allows him to take on this challenge and do it just open-minded.
Well, it's an interesting conversation because it really hasn't been much of a conversation in training camp, but we're going to see a bunch of tight ends tonight on the field. And, you know, there's a feeling, Mike, that maybe they could have done, or maybe they're not done yet at the tight end position, getting it ready for this season. Maybe they go out and get somebody in the waiver claim process since they're number one if they feel like they're not ready to roll with the guys they have. But they didn't really. They got Manhertz, one of the top blocking tight ends in football, and O'Shaughnessy is really kind of the pass-catching option at the moment.
Yeah, I think with those two guys, I think Luke Farrell being the draft pick and where they selected him, I would suspect that those three are close to locks for the 53-man roster. And then it's a question of how many tight ends do you keep? And you got Ben Ellefson, Tyler Davis, and Tim Tebow all competing for that fourth spot, and a lot of teams just keep four. I think Tebow, you know, specifically has shown more than some expected in the receiving game. You know, Urban Meyer was critical of him body catching the football early in camp. I know he's been working on that, but honestly, from what he's shown, I'd be surprised if he's at least not on the team's practice squad. You know, and with the way the practice squad eligibility has changed, you know, guys are going to be coming up and down off that squad all season long. So, you know, he's played himself throughout training camp in a position to have a legitimate shot to make this team.
And finally, we sat down today with Jaguars owner Shad Khan. The full interview coming up in Countdown to Kickoff about 10 minutes after 6 o'clock tonight. But this excerpt discussing the future football performance center for the Jaguars.
Well, I mean, I'm really optimistic. I think, you know, we expect, you know, to get the thumbs up from the city and then, you know, do our part to make it a reality. And I think it's great for the Jaguars, but I think it's going to be great for the city.
And we'll see and hear more from Jaguars owner Shad Khan coming up a little after 6 o'clock in Countdown to Kickoff. Maurice Jones-Drew was at practice this week with NFL Network. He spoke with the team after practice Tuesday. And Ashlyn Sullivan caught up with MJD to get his thoughts about the Jaguars in 2021.
We haven't had the chance to talk with you since the draft.
Yes.
Travis Etienne is out here on this field.
Can't wait to watch him.
Have James Robinson, have Carlos Hyde. How is this going to work? How are they going to split up all these running backs?
I think it's more about who gets hot, right? That's the most important thing. You have a plethora of guys that do different things. Obviously, Travis can do a lot more than the other guys, a more versatile guy out of the backfield, a guy that can line up in different places. But whoever gets hot is going to be the one that's going to carry the load. I was in one of those backfields with Fred Taylor, and regardless if I got hot or not, Fred was still going to get the ball. So I knew I just had to be very precise and direct with my touches. But at the same time, I think it's an open competition. Guys are competing to get better, and that it's all only going to be good for the Jaguars because they're all going to be ready to go.
And you have social media, so I'm sure you see this. After the draft, the Jaguars draft Travis Etienne, and some people are like, well, why would you do that when you have James Robinson? But Coach Meyer is telling us the importance of fresh legs is a real thing.
No question. I think those people need to mind their business. They don't know anything. This is the thing. You know, I thought the Jags were in a great position to draft best available, right? You take, obviously, Trevor Lawrence is your first pick. You have an opportunity to get best available once they were at 25. And Travis is sitting there, and you saw his career. You saw how explosive he was, how versatile he was. You see a lot of possibly Christian McCaffrey in there, and so you want to have that because you see what the Panthers look like with Christian and without him, right? So if I can get something similar or close to that, I want that. And so I thought it was an awesome pickup. Yes, it may take away from James's touches a little bit, but that's okay. Like it's about winning here, and I think this city is ready for that. I think Urban is bringing a ton of positivity, a ton of excitement. And that draft pick shows that he wants to win, right? Yeah, we have some other holes, but we want to be more athletic. We want to be faster, more explosive, and that's what we're getting here with Travis.
All right, MJD, I know you know this.
30 seconds.
You're addressing the team after practice.
I just heard, yeah.
Yeah, what's your game plan? What are you going to say?
I'm just going to tell them, you know, like, in order to be a great team, it's something I wish I did more of when I was here was holding each other accountable. I think that's the most important thing. one, and then two, not taking things personal when you're being held accountable, and then three, giving it everything you have every day to get better. That's the only way to get better is when you give everything you have, right? If you're sore, if you're not feeling well, still go out there and push yourselves. And I like the greats that have played here, that's what they did. That's the way I was taught. And I think the biggest thing, though, in order for the Jags to get where they want to get to, holding each other accountable, not allowing guys to miss things, not allowing guys to be comfortable and rest on their laurels is something that'll help get them over the hump.
Maurice Jones-Drew with Ashlyn Sullivan. You can watch that interview on Jaguars.com, and also we'll hear from Fred Taylor in Countdown to Kickoff and get his thoughts on the running back position. And I'm sure they're both fired up to see all these running backs in the stable that this could be in the backfield.
Oh, they both are guys obviously have experience playing in that shared backfield with Fred and MJD, and James Robinson's not going anywhere. He's still going to be a vital part of this offense. Carlos Hyde has looked really good in the glimpses. If you haven't seen Carlos Hyde play since last time in a Jaguar uniform, you'll be shocked. Now, honestly, that's really the only stretch of his career that he hasn't been a pretty good running back in the NFL, but he's looked good as the guy to give Robinson a spell, and ETN, what he's going to do in the passing game is going to be fun to watch.
Daly's Play schedule is heating up. Lady A coming up on August 20th. Chris Tomlin, Carrie Job, and Bethel Music Tour September 3rd. Rod Wave September 9th. Sam Hunt September 10th. Trippie Redd September 18th. Carlos Santana September 21st. And tickets available at dailysplace.com. When we return, First Rounds on Us, our weekly visit with resident first-round picks and Jaguars analysts Jeff Lageman and Tony Baselli. The Browns and the Jaguars tee it up at 7 o'clock tonight in preseason week 1. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Summer is the perfect time to update your home. It's the best savings of the year going on right now at Renewal by Anderson of Florida. Get 25% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Find out more at rbafla.com. Renewal by Anderson, the official replacement window and door partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Offer expires August 31st. Restrictions apply. Minimum purchase of 3 windows or patio doors required. License number CGC 1527613.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Some things make a house your home. Like clean, fresh sheets that make a bed with the soothing scent of fabric softener your thing. When drying clothes with natural gas, you get faster, gentler drying times, save money, and earn a rebate up to $150. Your home. Our safe, reliable, efficient energy. Love natural gas. Find rebate details at peoplesgas.com.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
From TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, this is the Publix Tailgate Show. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. It's preseason week 1. The Jaguars entertain the Cleveland Browns tonight at 7 o'clock. Time now for first rounds on us.
New York Jets, first round choice. Jeff Lageman.
Jacksonville Jaguars have selected tackle Southern California, Tony Baselli.
Our resident first-round picks, Tony Baselli and Jeff Lageman, join us from the broadcast booth upstairs at TIAA Bank Field. Is it still raining, guys?
No,
Not in the booth.
No. It's nice. No, it is. It's nice. It's starting to clear up. I don't know if it's going to stay clear for very long, but nonetheless, a good night for football. It's not that hot. I mean, heck, these players right now would love to have a break. This week was kind of a scorcher.
Yeah, indeed it was. So, obviously a lot of new around here, a lot of storylines leading into this 2021 season, but the new regime is really in control here. Urban Meyer setting the tone this offseason, guys, and now into training camp, and it feels like the players are buying in too.
I think two reasons. One, I mean, the moment that an Urban Meyer walks into the building or arrives in this city, I mean, he's got instant credibility, JP. I mean, he's national championships, one of the winningest football coaches in college football history. He's got a natural charisma. I like what I'm seeing. I mean, I'm watching Jaguars practices, and I have watched Jaguars practices since the inception, actually participated in them early on. And it's high energy. They get a lot of work done, and they've got players buying in. I think that's very apparent.
It reminds me a little bit of our camp. I mean, outside, we had 2 days.
But but the coach and the players talk like and having fun.
Well, that part. But, I mean, I was talking about the production. I mean, think about the volume of stuff we got done in those 2 days. And just take away the 2 days, there's one practice. I mean, and it's similar to that as far as very organized. Everyone knows where to go. And Jeff, you're right about the credibility. But let me tell you another reason why he has credibility. This team was 1-15 last year. And so if you're on a 1-15 team, and just about any new coach comes in, now Urban Meyer takes it up to another level, you're going to listen because you don't want to be 1-15 ever again.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing worse, and you and I have experienced it. I remember that 4-12 year, 7 straight we lost.
Wasn't fun.
It was miserable, and I would have done anything to change that. And I think as a player, especially those guys who are here, it's a breath of fresh air. Like, there's hope. You get the first overall pick in Trevor Lawrence. Urban Meyer comes in, and you're like, hey, what we were doing was not working. I'm happy to listen. If someone has a plan so I don't have to ever experience that again, great. And then you have, I think, the free agents they brought in, too. High energy.
That helps.
A lot of swag, good positive energy, guys like Shaquille Griffin.
I think they hit home runs on that, Tony, because you know what? The one thing I think, look, a coach can come in and all the team can buy in.
That's right.
But you got to have players that are kind of on your side to help them buy in. And it doesn't hurt that Urban Meyer is the ultimate authority. I mean, there's no questioning who the boss is. And when you have a job or you want a job, you got to please the boss. And Urban Meyer's the boss.
Well, he's the boss, but you're right about the veteran free agents. And Marvin Jones and Shaquille Griffin are the two that's kind of jump off the page at you the way you watch practice. And I'll go back as a rookie coming in here in '95, and different feel with Tom because Tom has a different personality than Urban, but very no doubt who's in charge, who's running the show. But Jeff, you were a veteran, and as a rookie, you watch how the veterans respond. And guys like you and others practice hard. We're out there doing all the stuff. So as a rookie, you come in, you're like, well,
that's how we're supposed to do it.
I guess that's how we're supposed to do it. So
right.
You get a guy like Shaquille Griffin, Marvin Jones coming in, practicing hard, high energy. That sends a message to the younger guys that just reinforces what Urban Meyer is saying.
And I will say this, JP. I think they've done in 1 year, I think they've done a really good job of making this roster more competitive, and you got to have that.
Hey, guys, on the weather front, I don't know if you're aware, the clouds are expected to part when Trevor Lawrence first takes the field tonight. So how would you guys handle it? How much playing time and in what kind of circumstance would you want to see Trevor Lawrence out there on the field?
I want him behind the number 1 offensive line, Mike, first and foremost. He is the franchise quarterback. He is the number 1 overall pick. I know there's a competition, quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes. You can't see me. But is there any doubt who's the starting quarterback when they open up against Houston Texans? It's Trevor Lawrence. So I want him out behind with the number 1 guys, the guys he's going to play in the season with. And I'd like to see him about a quarter. No more than a quarter, so that's going to give you probably 15 plays or so. And that's what I'd like to see out of him preseason one.
And I think that offensive line needs some snaps together. And I think that there might be one guy maybe that should come out a little bit early, maybe Linder. Norwell's not going to be playing. But I think the tackles need some work, And so do you want to put Trevor Lawrence and Minshew behind the ones for a period of time to keep with this competition? I mean, I don't know the answer to that, but I think the ultimate reality is that you got one franchise quarterback on this roster, and everybody knows it. It's not being spoken yet by the boss man, and at some point it will be.
And, Jeff, I mean, I'm of the opinion, like, you earn the right as a player to either not play at all in the preseason because they know you're a pro and you're the guy and you don't need the preseason, you'll be ready opening day, or you play at a level where you don't need a lot of reps. But if you play at a certain level, you have no right to say, hey, I only need 10, 15 snaps. You've got to go out there and earn it, and I think one of the things you said is right. For this offensive line, you need consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's reps. It's a position of reps. You're limited in the number of padded practices you have nowadays in the NFL, which is great for these guys. But you got to get your reps, and I think this is, with only 3 preseason games, this is an important one.
I might sneak Mike Walker Little in at left tackle a little bit early in this ball game. Maybe rotate at left tackle.
Send a message?
Bit. Sure.
Interesting stuff. Time now for UF Health Finding Solutions. Visit ufhealthjax.org. Well, the Jags made a trade. Joe Schobert headed to Pittsburgh, and, of course, it's a new-feeling defense, 3-4 on the depth chart. There are multiple logs, but what does this trade mean? Well, I guess it means Damian Wilson's the guy in the middle linebacker spot.
Second down guy, I think there's no doubt that he was showing the ability to be more physical. He's got a comfort level with Joe Cullen's defense. But in reality, I think you go, okay, is Joe Schobert one of your best top linebackers on this roster? I would say yeah. And so you go, okay, well, if you're going to trade away one of those guys, which is one of your top linebackers, what are you getting in return? A 6th-round pick? Okay, that's not a whole lot for a guy that, if he has to be and you have injuries, could be a starter. So I'm kind of lukewarm on this trade.
Well, and Jeff, I'll take it one step further. I think you make trades this time of year. If you know you're going to release a guy, you'll trade him to get whatever you can. It doesn't matter because you're going to release him anyways. I don't think, to your point, I think Joe Schobert's one of the best linebackers on this roster. Now, do I think he's the perfect 3-4? Is he physical enough? No, but is he a good third down linebacker? Can he do good in coverage? And there's not a ton of depth behind Damian Wilson and Miles Jack. And hopefully they stay healthy the whole year. And another reason you trade this time of year is to make your team better. I don't think they got better as a football team letting Joe Schobert go for a 6th-round pick, unless that 6th-round pick next year is of the all of a sudden you find a Tom Brady or somebody.
That doesn't happen often.
Doesn't happen very often. So I was curious too.
Yeah.
When I heard that they traded him, I'm thinking, maybe they got one of those receivers from the Steelers, down the line guy. Maybe they got a
higher draft
pick, something like that. I was a little bit surprised at the 6th-rounder as well.
And I understand that when Joe Schobert got to free agency last year, he commanded a lot of money. But, I mean, that's what happens in free agency. And so did the Jaguars overpay him? Well, you do that in free agency all the time.
But they might have overpaid him a little bit more.
Yeah. So, interesting on that aspect, in my opinion.
That's UF Health Finding Solutions. Visit ufhealthjax.org.
All right, guys, other than what we've discussed, particularly with left tackle and leave the quarterback position out, what is one position battle each of you will be looking at closely tonight?
Jump in, because I don't want Jeff to steal mine, because he might. I'm watching Walker Little, guys. I mean, I'm going to watch Walker Little tonight. I think Cam Robinson's going to be your starting left tackle opening day against Houston. But I think that's an ongoing battle for both tackles. I think Walker Little's had a great camp. Urban Meyer has said every time he opens his mouth about Walker Little, it's effusive in praise. I think he has a chance to be a really good player. He would have been a 1st-round draft pick if COVID didn't happen and he didn't sit out last year. And I think that's going to be an interesting storyline, not just for camp. I think that could be a storyline all year, Jeff.
I think without a doubt. And if you could rewind things, you might even say, okay, let's put Walker Little in. He's our starting left tackle, and let's let Cam Robinson and Juwan Taylor compete for right tackle. Just a thought. I mean, that's how good he's looked so far, but haven't played a game yet. For me, guys, the position is corner because there's a big kind of question mark cloud around C.J. Henderson right now. So what happens at that corner position opposite of Shaquille Griffin? Is it going to be Cindy Jones? Is it going to be Tyson Campbell, who's looked fantastic in training camp, the second-round pick out of Georgia? Or will C.J. Henderson be able to battle through whatever it is that he's battling through to be able to show the talent that made him a first-round draft pick? And I think that's one of the more curious position battles that is going to be happening through the remainder of camp.
There you have it. First rounds on us. We're back in a moment. And a little later at 5:45, John Oehser will give us his game preview. But coming up, players to watch in preseason week 1 in lieu of fantasy. No fantasy in the preseason. Browns Jaguars at 7 o'clock. And from TIAA Bank Field, this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else. Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Healthcare coverage for less? Yes. Now, because of the new healthcare stimulus, you can get better benefits, more coverage, and pay less with a Florida Blue plan. Claim your savings today. Visit floridablue.com/getcovered now. Policies have limitations and exclusions. If you already had health insurance in 2021, speak with an agent to find out how changing plans could impact your deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums. Florida Blue and Health Options Incorporated, DBA Florida Blue HMO, are independent licensees of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association. The Land Rover Defender story began with the simple thought of creating an exceptionally capable off-road vehicle, becoming the go-anywhere, do-anything all-terrain machine. Today, there's a new Land Rover Defender, the toughest and most advanced Land Rover vehicle ever. From the beginning, Land Rover knew the new Defender was capable of great things. Motor Trend's 2021 SUV of the Year is just the latest example. Test drive the new Land Rover Defender today at Land Rover Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard, or go to LandRoverJacksonville.com. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Have you painted yourself for game day and dyed your pet's fur to match? Do you bleed your team's colors and deck your pet out in team gear? Do you plan game day watch parties for fellow sports lovers and their beloved pets? Then you are a rare breed. You are a pet fanatic, equal parts pet obsessed and die-hard sports fan. At Pet Paradise, they're crazy about pets too. The official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk. Checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk. Checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
Hi, I'm Urban Meyer, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call Florida Home Air Conditioning, my choice for heating and cooling.
For a limited time, Florida Home Air Conditioning will buy back your old, inefficient HVAC system when we take up to $1,750 off your new heating and cooling system purchase. You get a new, energy-efficient HVAC system for as low as $99 per month and up to $1,750 for your old system.
Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. The Publix Tailgate Show rolls along. Browns Jags coming up in preseason week 1. Kickoff time set for 7 o'clock. And tonight's game is presented by Gate, serving up more. And very soon, the team should announce what players are officially down tonight. We'll bring that to you when we hear that from the Jaguars. Now time for our fantasy outlook. But there's no fantasy in preseason, Mike, so Jeff and Tony are back with us. Frank Frangie joins us in the broadcast booth as well. So in lieu of fantasy, Mike, why don't we have fantasy in the preseason?
Well, there is fantasy in the preseason.
Is there?
We don't do fantasy in the preseason.
Who won last year?
Dempsey won last year. Thank you very much. So,
I just wondering.
bring it up again if you like there, Jeff.
Who won last year?
I won last year.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yes, congratulations, Mike.
I forget.
Which tied me with Jeff Logman for the all-time record of 2 season-long victories.
Has everybody won at least once, Mike?
Well, Frank, I'm glad you asked because I know you have.
I have won once.
And I know Tony Baselli broke through with a victory.
Yeah,
Does that cover everybody?
I think that I'm counting.
Somebody left out. JP.
Yeah, I'm sitting here right here.
Yes.
Yep.
So
I'm sitting right here.
There's always
what a
this year.
loser.
Literally. Yeah, no doubt. So in lieu of fantasy.
So JP would be the definition of -2. Not +2.
Oh, no.
Right, yeah. That's not where you want to be these days in this organization. So in lieu of fantasy, we will pick a player to watch tonight that is not wearing number 16.
Okay.
Frank, go ahead.
I'll take number 18. Laquan Treadwell, I think, has been really good. He's a guy that maybe a last chance or so for him. After the first 3 receivers, Chark, Chenault, and Marvin Jones Jr., I'm not sure anybody really knows who that 4th guy is. And I've been to every practice. He's looked good. He's a big physical guy. And I think he's got a real chance not just to make the team, but to impact the team. Maybe as the 4th guy. So Laquan Treadwell for me, I think.
Tony.
I mean, is there any doubt where I'm going? I just talked about the battle at left tackle. I'm going with Walker Little. I can't wait to watch him. He's had a great camp. He's a big, physical, athletic guy. Everyone knows he has not played in a football game since the game 1
in 19
for Stanford.
Long time ago.
Sat out last year because of COVID. So I'm really looking forward to him. I think he has a bright future from what we've seen in practice. But, Jeff, you and I both know practice is one thing. Game time's a little bit different.
And he might even get better.
He might
come game time. He might be one of those gamer guys, you know. But is it my turn, JP,
yes,
by the
Jeff,
way?
Please.
I'll take Travis Etienne. And because I can't pick the highest draft pick, I'll go to the next highest draft pick. I mean, he's a guy that's shown explosive ability in camp, to see the way that they use him to where they're splitting him out as a wide receiver. They've got packages with him in all kinds of positions. And he's had a little bit of the drops occasionally this week in training camp, but I want to see him fight through that because if he catches the ball in space, look out.
Mike, who you got?
This one's easy for me based on what's left, and that's Caleb on Chason because, you know, you're talking about a guy who was a first-round pick just a year ago, and, guys, as I described it to JP earlier, I think a lot of people were saying anything that you get out of him this year is a bonus because people are just not high on him coming off that rookie season performance. Hopefully this defense is better suited to his natural abilities. He seems to think it is, so let's see if we see some of those results starting tonight.
And I'm going to go with, the 4-way battle for strong safety, Josh Jones or Jared Wilson or Rudy Ford or Andre Cisco. I'm going Cisco. Rookie out of Syracuse, coming off a knee injury, had 13 career interceptions in 3 seasons for the Orange. We'll see if he can continue that ball hawking ability in the National Football League. All right, guys, Tony and Jeff, we'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Have a good one.
See ya.
They're out of here. We continue with Frank Frangie in just a moment. PRI Productions, the Southeast full-service event company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. Frank, good evening, and here we are, preseason week 1. The Browns and the Jaguars coming up at 7 o'clock. The new era is finally here, and the excitement is all over Jacksonville. You can feel it everywhere.
Yeah, JP, you really can. It's as intriguing a start to a season as we've ever had, really. And I agree with you. Everybody's excited because Urban Meyer's here and Trevor Lawrence is here. We can bury the lead and beat around it all we want, but there's possibly a generational quarterback here, and as Jeff said to you earlier, one of the most successful college football coaches of all time. People can't wait for this thing, man. And I hope there's a good crowd tonight, JP, because you don't get to see this team for 5 weeks now. The next 2 preseason games are on the road. Then there's a 2-week break. Then there's a road game. So I can't wait to see this team tonight, and I think people feel that way. I think people are chomping at the bit to watch these guys tonight.
Frank, what's realistic here for an expectation for Trevor Lawrence's debut?
Yeah, Mike, I think 10, 15 plays. I think that probably means a couple drives, maybe a third drive if there's 2 short drives. But I would expect whether he starts the game or not, I would think he's going to play with the ones. I would think he's going to play between 10 and 15 plays. Wouldn't you love to see one really good drive? I think if there's one thing you're looking for, one really good drive, sort of a signature drive to start this thing, and then get to the sideline. So I think that would be the expectation, Mike, 10, 15 plays for me.
The rest of this offense has the ability, it feels like, to have some some playmakers on it. You know, the veteran wide receiver Marvin Jones has had a very good camp. Chark's going to be ready for week 1, it sounds like, coming off his finger surgery the other day. And Laviska Shenault can be a game breaker as well. He looks just stronger in year 2. And then you bring in a guy like Etienne to go with the running backs. This is an offense that has some weapons for Darrell Bevel to play with.
You know, JP, and I agree with you, what it hasn't had is splash plays. I mean, look, the team was 1-15, so there's a lot of things it didn't have last year, right? But it has not been a team that's had a lot of splash plays. In the big year, the 2017 memorable season, Leonard Fournette went 90 yards one time. He went 75 yards one time. There were big throws down the field. So I think splash plays matter in today's NFL, and I agree with you. Travis Etienne really strikes me as a guy that's going to get up and down the field, man. I expect big plays for him, whether it's a wheel route or a draw play throughout the season. I want to see what DJ Chark can do as an explosive player with a little better passing game and better people around him. But I agree with you. I think there's an opportunity. And look, we saw all those highlights the Laviska Shenault had in Colorado, and it never really manifested itself last year. I think he's totally healthy. He'll tell you he's totally healthy now. I think there's a lot of weapons here, more weapons than we've seen on this football team in a long, long time.
Frank, Urban Meyer said earlier this offseason when he's asked how good a football team he is, he asked how good is the defensive line. So I'll ask you, how good do you think this defensive line can be?
I think that's the big question for me, maybe the biggest question, because I agree with what he said. You have to be good on the defensive front. Mike, I like the first 3 guys in base. I think Devon Hamilton, Malcolm Brown, and Roy Robertson Harris will be good players in base. I do worry a little bit about what's behind them. Are there enough guys? You need that defensive line's a position you got to rotate. Are there enough guys once you start rotating? And I don't know how good I feel about that. That's one thing that the preseason will teach us. So I think the edge is pretty good. I think Josh Allen's going to have a big year. I think that you're going to love Jihad Ward, who's going to be opposite him in some nickel situations. But as far as a base defensive line, in my mind, a base defensive front, I like the first 3 guys, Mike. I'm not sure there's enough behind them, and I guess we'll find that out in this preseason.
The secondary could be all new this year, Frank. If you roll out the starters of Shaquille Griffin, and maybe if Tyson Campbell wins a job at corner, and then Rayshawn Jenkins at free safety, and then one of the new guys, Rudy Ford or Andre Sisco, win at strong safety, that is a complete overhaul of the secondary from a year ago.
Yeah, it really is. And, JP, I think the plan was to have Shaquille Griffin on one side, C.J. Henderson on the other, and then when they took Tyson Campbell 33 overall, I think the hope was he'd be the nickel, and then you'd have 3 really fast guys there. Now that they weren't quite sure how this whole C.J. thing's going to unfold, they moved Tyson Campbell back outside. I think as for today, he's the starting cornerback outside opposite Shaq Griffin. I think he will probably replace Sidney Jones at that spot and that means Trey Herndon's the nickel. So you're right about that. And something you said a moment ago, we picked players. There's 4 guys trying to win that one safety spot.
Right.
Rayshawn Jenkins has the one. There's 4, and you named all 4 guys. I think they want Sisco to win that job, JP. I think if you asked him privately, he's the guy with the talent. He's got with the upside. He's probably got the best skill set, yet he's also the newest guy here. So they're all pretty even. I asked Joe Cullen point blank, is anybody ahead? And he said, no, they're all pretty 4 even. I think they'd like Andre Sisco to win that job. Then it's a very fast secondary, which is another thing they haven't had in recent years.
Of course, they're also saying the quarterback competition's even, so just noting that. Frank, Tim Tebow, what have your impressions been on his efforts to make the team?
Early on, I thought when practice first started, Mike, I thought he showed up. Caught some balls down the field. I can't tell since then. I'd be disingenuous if I told you any of the tight ends really has flashed for me. Being at every practice, I haven't seen any of the tight ends do much more than the other one. So to my very untrained eye, Mike, they all look about the same to me. So I would be guessing. My guess is that Manhurts and O'Shaughnessy will be the first 2 tight ends. My guess is Luke Farrell is going to be on the team. They just drafted him. And then it's a crapshoot who the 4th guy is, or even if they keep another guy. So I would say the first 2 for me are Manhurts and O'Shaughnessy. I think they keep the rookie, and then everything else is up for grabs. But I haven't seen a lot from not just Tim. To my eyes, I haven't seen a whole lot from any of the tight ends.
Frank, have a great call tonight. We're back to football finally.
Boy, I'm happy about that. Thanks, fellas.
All right, Frank Frangie out of here. And, to your question there, Mike, Chris Manhurts said it took him 2 full years to figure out the mentality of what it takes to go block in the NFL at the tight end position and all the routes and everything you have to do as a tight end. It's a lot to handle. I'm guessing we haven't heard from Tebow yet. He hasn't been made available. Quarterback mentality is different. You're avoiding. You're trying to get to the end zone. if you're blocking tight end, you've got to block that 290-pound guy that's coming after your quarterback.
I don't know if Tim Tebow's ever had the I need to avoid anybody, honestly. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
he's a different type of guy. He's a physical player. He was the short yardage back at Florida where they just put him in the pistol and not even say where the play's going, just pick a hole and just go run someone over. So, this is a guy who played D-line on occasion in high school. He's used to playing physical football. He's not your typical finesse quarterback. So if anybody was going to make that transition and make that aspect of it go smoothly, I would expect it to be him.
Well, tonight is a big night to see it in real action.
It's a big game for him. It's a big game for all these guys that are trying to make the 53. You know, we talk about Trevor Lawrence and Travis and guys we know are going to be around, but, only 3 opportunities as opposed to 4 to impress this coaching staff if you're down there on the depth chart.
Up next on the Publix Tailgate Show, a visit with the Ozone. Jaguars.com senior writer John Oehser gives us his final thoughts ahead of tonight's preseason opener. Jaguars Radio Network coverage at 6 o'clock with countdown to kickoff, including a visit with Jaguars owner Shad Khan. We're a little over an hour away from preseason week 1. The Browns and the Jaguars tee it up at 7, and this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
How far should we go? When it comes to the health of children, we will stop at nothing, focusing on prevention as much as cures. Working with community leaders, educators, policymakers to make every child's world a place for them to thrive. Going to the nth degree and beyond. Nemours Children's Health, well beyond medicine. Join the journey at nemours.org/beyond.
Hi folks, Frank Frangie here to tell you where to find the most authentic Southern Pit barbecue in all of Jacksonville. That's right, Bono's. For 72 years, Bono's has been smoking real pit barbecue right here on the First Coast. Smoked for hours, served in minutes, and always cut to order. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field. Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
At VyStar, we believe in better. And what's better than saving up to $5,000 in closing costs when you buy or refinance a home? With a VyStar no closing costs mortgage, you'll get a great rate, no hidden fees, and like the name says, no closing costs up to $5,000. If you believe saving money is better, join VyStar. Equal housing opportunity, insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Offer not available on VA and FHA mortgages. For more information, visit VyStarCU.org.
We've seen it 1,000 times. Insurance companies using the same tired excuses not to pay. They'll say you're really not hurt, or that your injury is from an old accident. That's why it's so important to hire a law firm who has their own medical experts, who know how to fight excuses with facts. When they bring excuses, we bring the truth. And truth is power. Farah and Farah. Here for you, here for good. Jacksonville.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the SUVs of the future for everyone. Like Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer. All named 2021 IIHS top safety picks with specific headlights. One of the many reasons why Ford has the freshest lineup of SUVs in America. Because the SUVs of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford SUVs. Drive one today. When equipped with available LED headlamps based on AutoSource Incorporated data obtained on 10520.
Final moments of the Publix Tailgate Show. The Browns and the Jaguars coming up at 7 o'clock at TIAA Bank Field. Tonight's game presented by Gate, serving up more season tickets, single game tickets, and group tickets. Be a part of the new era of Jaguars football and own it. Visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. A few players have been ruled out for tonight for the Jaguars. Rudy Ford, the safety, will not play. Philip Dorsett II, the wide receiver. DJ Chark had surgery on his middle finger and his right hand. He is out tonight. Daniel Thomas still on the COVID list. The safety, Luke Barku, cornerback, not available. Andrew Norwell, going to be fine, Urban said, but he's got a little elbow issue. They're going to hold him out tonight. Tim Jones at wide receiver. Josh Imatorbhebhe is out, wide receiver. And Taven Bryan, the defensive lineman, is out tonight as well. Who's in tonight? The Ozone.
This broadcast is ozone friendly.
The Ozone. Jaguars.com senior writer John Ogier is owning it.
That's a good little segue. Who's in tonight? I like it.
You're always in. You never miss a game.
I don't. No. Especially not this one with Trevor Lawrence debut. You got to be here for this one.
I mean, I haven't seen a smile on your face this big in years.
Well, that's probably fair. I'm here with my good friends, and it's an exciting night, even though obviously it doesn't count. I think you'll see a lot of things. I think you'll see glimpses of a lot of things people want to see. I don't know how much real you're going to see from the offensive and defensive schemes, but I think most people just want to see the kid throw the ball.
All right, John, we talked a lot about, we're excited about Trevor Lawrence. We're excited about this guy, that guy. Where's an area of concern for you right now, like based on the way training camp has gone?
I don't know so much about the way training camp has gone, but I still, and I don't know if we'll know until the regular season, how improved are they on the defensive line? We think on paper they're improved on the defensive line. I think they did what they could on the defensive line. How will Malcolm Brown really affect things? How good will the ends be that they brought in? How good will Devon Hamilton be? That's still the major question. The moves they made were in the right direction. How stout will they be? I think that'll be the key to making everything else on the back ends work.
We talk about all these playmakers on offense, right? The frontline wide receivers, the running backs, CTN, all these things. I mean, they're still going to run the ball a lot, right? I mean, this is they have co-starters right now, or co-number one running backs on the depth chart, James Robinson or Carlos Hyde, and then Etienne and Ozigbo are down the chart, Ogunbowale and Cottrell at the bottom. So they're going to run the ball a lot. How do you divvy these up?
Well, how do you divvy them up? I think it will be James Robinson with the starting reps, meaning the first two series of games for the most part. It feels like a Carlos Hyde will be the guy who replaces him, and there'll be two bodies of the same back, if you will, with ETN being more of that hybrid 10 to 12 touch-a-game guy. I think you're right. I think in the preseason and training camp, how much this team wants to run the ball sometimes gets lost, because when we're all out there, it's easy to chart passing. It's easy to see that they're throwing the ball and it looks good, but it's not so easy in practice when it's just thud contact to see how much they're going to run the ball, to see how much they're going to emphasize it. You would think you'd get a first dose of that tonight. As much as fans don't want to hear this because they want to see Trevor Lawrence, they want to see the locks flowing and Sampson throwing the ball. This team, I think, Mike, clearly wants to run the ball.
Oh, sure they do. Urban Meyer said he wants to be a top 8 running team, meaning
top 8 and everything, baby.
25% of the league. But I really do believe that he feels that you can control the game that way. You've got to pass at a high level to win in today's National Football League, at least to win consistently. We like the wide receivers at the top, right? In whatever order you want to list them, Jones, Chark, and Chenault. John, presuming that Jamal Agnew has a spot as a primary return guy, if they keep 6, who are the other 2 spots going to at the moment?
It may be tougher to answer that question about a position than any position around here that I can remember in a training camp in 5 or 6 years. My gut right now would be Treadwell and Philip Dorsett. I don't know where that leaves Colin Johnson. I think Colin Johnson is a tough player to leave on a practice squad or to leave open because of his height. Somebody's going to pick him up. But to me, it feels like Treadwell and Dorsett because of the speed. I think Urban really wants that speed that can change the game. And it feels to me like Treadwell's earned it.
In general, Urban Meyer so far, has he exceeded expectations? What has been your initial reaction to Urban being around him and the organization he's trying to build?
Well, the thing that blows you away being around him and what they've done is what a top-level communicator he is. JP, you and I have talked over the years about coaching and just what it means in the NFL. I more and more as time goes on believe it's about the ability to communicate your message and get every player on the roster understanding it. There's no doubt in my mind that every player on the roster understands how he wants to play, understands what the culture is supposed to be. There's no confusion on what this team is, on what's important, on how they're going to approach things. Right now, that's all you can ask. I don't know how he'll be in game situations. He's admitting to needing to learn this league. I think that's a smart thing. He seems to be a guy who's willing to say, I don't get this, I've got to learn it. To me, that's a good sign. Mm-hmm. All arrows up, and now we see his first preseason game. So who knows what the arrows are.
What about C.J. Henderson, number 9 overall pick last year, has had a tumultuous might be too big of a word for the offseason, but it's been an interesting one to say the least. Where do you think he is right now?
Well, I guess he's playing because he's not on that list. Yep. So I think that's a good sign. He'll have gone through 3 straight practices and now a preseason game. He was working with that top rotation this week. It wasn't like they were, I think by last day we were out there, JP, was Thursday. Mm-hmm. And he was in the group. So where is he mentally? Hard to say. Where is he physically? It seems like they expect him to be back. I keep saying he's an important piece, and they seem to acknowledge he's an important piece by saying, look, we'll do whatever we can to get him back. That was sort of the message from Charlie Strong and Urban this week. They're going to give it a go. I'm not sure any details beyond that, but it seems obvious that they know they need him.
Johnny O, great stuff as always. It's always a pleasure to see you. Well, and thanks for your insight, and enjoy tonight's football game.
It's been a long time coming. I will say that.
There's no doubt about that. Check him out on Twitter at John Ozier. His writing coming up on Jaguars.com. Jaguars.com senior writer John Ozier with us on the Publix Tailgate Show. The Jaguars and the Browns coming up tonight. Preseason week number 1, and we're about an hour away from kickoff. Network coverage is coming up next, and we'll hear from Jaguars owner Shad Khan. We visited with him earlier today. We'll get his thoughts on Urban Meyer and the culture he's building so far, the quarterback Trevor Lawrence, the downtown development initiatives that are well underway. That's all coming up. We'll hear from Fred Taylor and the final word with head coach Urban Meyer as well. The Jaguars and the Cleveland Browns coming up, and from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
We paid how